Now we're going to move on to the MLB first quarter. First quarter has come and passed, and now we're going to be talking about teams that have surprised us, teams that have disappointed, players who have surprised us, and players who have disappointed. Let's go to the player side first, and I know you're going to at least go with the Cubs player here. What player has been most surprising in this MLB season?
I kind of want to go with just the entire Cubs roster, but no. I'm going to go with somebody who, you're right, I am going to pick a Cub. But
not surprised.
It's not going to be the Cub that you expect me to pick. The guy who has surprised me this season is Grandpa Ross, David Ross of the Chicago Cubs, because I'll be honest, when he came out this season and was like, hey, this is my last one, and they started the hashtag year-long retirement party, I thought, okay, he's going to be like the backup catcher to Miguel Montero. He's going to play here and there. He's going to be Lester's personal catcher. And then that's it, because, Schwarber is going to be playing some catcher too. Mm-hmm. Well, Schwarber goes down with the injury, and David Ross has kind of been like the spark plug to this Cubs team, where he's playing great defensively. He's doing stuff at the plate. He's just being an overall just great presence on this team. And I'd even say he is one of the main reasons why they're 28-11 right now. Not the sole reason, but he's a big reason to help them get to that mark.
If I look at most surprising players, this one's not going to be too surprising, but it's not really the numbers he's putting up, because he's been putting up ridiculous numbers his whole career. But I look at Chris Sale, and the way he's been doing it has been more impressive, because obviously
goes for his 9th win tonight as we're recording this, I believe.
He's trying to go 9 for 9 at least. And if you look at his numbers, his strikeout numbers are significantly down, because he was mainly a strikeout pitcher the past couple of years, but now he's kind of more working on getting ground balls. Now he's kind of working on just not overpowering people, but just getting outs, and he's been doing a fantastic job. And the way he's been pitching has been phenomenal. Last year, posting a 3.41 ERA, and now he's down towards 1.6 as the time of recording this. The way he's been pitching has been more efficient, and he hasn't lost the dominance that he has shown before, because usually he's trying to overpower guys with his fastball, and that's going to leave it up, and if a guy connects, he's going to go out of the park. But now he's just trying to work on his control, because his stuff's nasty as it is. I mean, guys are swinging at pitches that are hitting him. The way that he is controlling his pitches and the way he's coming out with the mindset of him pitching, it's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal, leading the Sox to, I would say, a surprise as a White Sox fan, a surprising top of the AL.
I was just gonna say the Sox have to be one of the most. Well, to me, there's two surprising teams.
I had one more surprising player, and then we'll get back to that. The other surprising player is in the AL, and that's Robinson Cano. Mm-hmm. The way that he had a complete down year in his first year in Seattle, and now he's bouncing back, and now we're seeing the old Robbie Cano. I mean, that's second year. I mean, he had 2 terrible years with the Mariners. I mean, his first year wasn't bad, but last year was a significantly down year for Robinson Cano, and now he's finally coming back. Now he's looking like the old Robbie Cano, and it's really good to see him that way. But you go on.
I was going to say that the surprising teams right now are. I'm going to give you one from the AL, one from the NL, because that's how I see it, is the White Sox, which to me, I was looking at the standings today, and I have an opportunity to be the fucking mastermind of preseason predictions, because way back when the season started, I threw out Indians win the division, Royals come in second, White Sox come in third, but the Royals and White Sox meet in the wild card. And a few people were like, who the fuck do you think you are, picking the White Sox to make the playoffs? Being that good to make the playoffs? And now they're even overseeding my prediction that I had them. They're in atop the Central Division. Them and the Cubs are doing so good that where we can call ourselves Baseball Town USA.
I don't know about that.
I know that both teams have kind of been sliding up right now, but they're, to me, like, nobody expected them to be atop of the Central. The other one, the Phillies. They're right now a half game back of the Nationals for the top spot in the East. Did anyone expect, everyone expected Nationals and Mets. That's who's going to fight it out for the NL East. And early on, I know it's May, so I can get off my my high horse here. But so far, 24-17 for a Phillies team that has a run differential of -28.
Oh, no, I completely agree. You stole my NL team. And I'll just kind of put that whole NL East as the most surprising division because, obviously the Braves suck. The Braves are terrible. And
fired their manager because of it.
Firing Freddie Gonzalez. But, I mean, he doesn't have a team. He didn't have a team for the past 2 years. You really can't blame Freddie for that. But he didn't have a team around him. The Marlins are 3 games back. Marlins really, they have Jose Fernandez. They have Giancarlo Stanton.
Don Mattingly, the manager over there now.
Don Mattingly, kind of rallying the troops here. And he's been impressive. I mean, even losing D. Gordon. The Marlins have been impressive. That whole National League East has been phenomenal. And then looking at the AL side, I do want to throw out the Baltimore Orioles. They're top of the AL East, but the way they've been winning, I mean, Mark Trumbo coming back, I mean, he's been up and down his whole career. Angels, I thought he was one of the best players, and then obviously they got that guy Mike Trout or whatever.
Yeah.
And he kind of pushed him out of the outfield rotation. Manny Machado, I'm still going.
Okay.
Manny Machado being fantastic at shortstop now that they moved him over. I mean, he's been fantastic, and looking at their pitching, the pitching shouldn't be that good, but I mean, it's great with Chris Tillman up there. It's great with Ubaldo Jimenez. I mean, he hasn't been that fantastic, but I mean, looking at the guys that have been starting, they shouldn't be this good. Now, I look at the Baltimore Orioles, and they've been impressive because they don't have a true great rotation, but they've been winning games.
I was just going to throw out there for you just to talk about, because you're talking about the AL East, is I'd say Boston may be even more of a surprise than Baltimore.
But, I mean, if you look at history, I mean, people are saying, it's the Giants' year to win it because they win in even years. Yeah. But looking at the Red Sox, they've been up and down. It's really every other year. And, they acquire David Price, and your young guys like Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts are getting more experience. They're getting better. I just look at that team, and it doesn't really shock me that they're that high because they're still a good team, and they just dealt with bad acquisitions last year with Pablo Sandoval and Hanley Ramirez, and Hanley Ramirez kind of seems like he's finding his place, but I'm not too surprised by that one. A team that does surprise me though, the second team in the NL West, and I know the West hasn't been too great, but the Rockies have been pretty surprising. As talking about a team that doesn't have a lot of great pitching, they've been phenomenal, especially with.
What about the Dodgers? Like they 21-20.
Well, you lose right now. You lose Greinke. You don't have that great of a staff. Kazmir hasn't been phenomenal.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, but Greinke's not doing anything. It kind of shows the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers to me right now show that this is what you had in Greinke Kershaw. Like it kind of shows both of them. The Dodgers, look at how good you were with both. Greinke, look at what happens when you don't have Kershaw pitching in front of you. I mean, I know you want to be the main guy in Arizona, but it's kind of like when Robin said, fuck it, I'm going to be Nightwing. He's never going to be Batman. It's just Batman and Robin.
You can't say Greinke's never been Batman. Look at the Royals. He was an AL Cy Young. He's been fantastic.
I'm saying since he came over to the Dodgers, because there was no way he was going to take over Kershaw for the ace in LA.
Well, no, because Kershaw's the third best. He is the best pitcher.
I'd say second best.
He's better than Arrieta. He's been doing it. He's been doing it consistently.
Can we say 1A, 1B?
That's fair.
We settle with that?
I'm just basing that off because Kershaw has been doing it longer. Yeah. Arrieta's been fantastic. I'm not trying to put him down. But
Arrieta's just had a great 2 seasons.
Yeah, but Kershaw's been having a great career. I mean, and then you look at their whole lineup. Justin Turner was a catalyst for that. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers have been down, but they're not even out of it just because the West is terrible. What teams have really disappointed you looking from that side?
I'm not going to say disappointed because I love when they're in the cellar, but New York fans got the Bronx has to be just pissed that the Yankees are in.
How? I think their average age is like 37 or something stupid like that.
The reason why is because of how much they're paying their players. It's the total George Steinbrenner just mindset of back in the day, throw a bunch of money at it and it'll fix itself.
I look at the team in that division. I think it's the Toronto Blue Jays. I know you lost Price, but I mean, looking at that team, Bats has been struggling. Donaldson hasn't been the AL MVP.
Bats also got a huge right hook to the face.
Yeah, but even
recently.
Before that, he's just been completely struggling. They're not having him bat lead off because of his struggles. I mean, Donaldson hasn't been the AL MVP that he was last year. I just look at this team. This team has been disappointing, and they haven't been that good.
Or the Astros.
Oh, we already talked about the Astros, and some guy called us a fucking uninformed idiot.
No. I think the Astros, though, are the biggest bust this season. Like, they are... Everyone thought, I was one of them, they're going to win the West this year. I even had them going to the World Series. Look, they're 17 and 24.
You had them going to the World Series?
To lose to the Cubs.
Yikes. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I think they're in the same boat as the Twins because the Twins had a shocking season last year being near the top of the
Astros. The Astros went to the playoffs and had that great game.
The Twins literally did not have any pitching going into the last season, and they almost made the playoffs. I'm just saying those two teams together
made the playoffs.
Those two teams together were completely shocking to the whole MLB landscaping. But now you look at them, the Twins have a run differential of -67. I mean, they've been terrible. The Astros have been terrible. And also, I mean, another team that really has been disappointing, you would probably throw the Diamondbacks in there because you get Greinke, you think they would take that next step. You have Goldschmidt, you have Pollock, you think those guys would take the next step, and they really didn't do it. I mean, looking at that, it was really shocking. Is there any players, I mean, if you want to throw a Cub player out there, I think I know what Cub player you will throw out there. Has there been a Cub player or any player that really has been disappointing?
It's not a player that I think has been disappointing, but I do want to talk about it is, I don't know, like Cub fans, I'm speaking to you as one of your own. Get off of Jason Hayward's back. Like, I know that he's paid a lot. Is he batting the best right now? Probably not. But it's fucking May. It's May, and as of right now of recording this podcast, because we did lose earlier today to the Brew Crew, we're 28-11. And history has showed that Jason Hayward usually picks it up in the months of June and July. So to me, I feel like all this kind of talk I'm hearing from around the area, especially on our local radio stations, no matter which one it is, I just feel like he's a guy that has, yes, had a slower start than people would have liked because of the cashola that we dished out for him. But you got to remember, he's not the type of guy that needs to step in and be Jason Hayward, I'm the greatest player on the Atlanta Braves like he was back in the day. He's just got to be serviceable because we got a full team of studs.
And talking about a team of studs here, I think it's hard to mention. If you look at the Mets line rotation, at least you would think this team that rotation led them deep in the playoffs last year. And Syndergaard's been fantastic.
He gives me nightmares.
Yeah, DeGrom hasn't been bad. Matz has been great, but I mean, looking at the guy. Harvey was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be the ace.
Batman's kind of been...
he's been terrible.
He's been terrible, yeah.
I mean, 4.93 ERA. He hasn't been great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he had one good start, but other than that, he has not been fantastic. Harvey has not been, this great, anchor that you want in your lineup. I mean, I think he had one good start where he has 3 starts that have been... 3 ERA or less. I mean, I look at Harvey and he hasn't been great, and he's really been struggling. And then I also look at another guy like Troy Tulowitzki, who has just been terrible in Toronto. He hasn't been. I mean, he has 8 home runs and 20 RBIs, but he has not been great. That whole team hasn't been great. He's been below 200.
His main role was to get him to the playoffs last year and then help him in the playoffs. That's why they traded for him.
They gave up a lot, and he hasn't really given it back there. One discussion that I do want to have with you really quick before we get off the MLB. Who would your NL Cy Young be? Would it be Kershaw or would it be Arrieta? Why is it Arrieta?
It's just, to me,
you can't just say Arrieta and not give me a response.
You look at what he's done. You look at the recent no-hitter that he had. I mean, this guy is a guy, and of course you can say the same about Kershaw, but to me, it comes down to this. If I'm on a Game 7 World Series, who am I putting out there? I'm putting Arrieta out there. That's who I'm putting out there to win the game. So that's the way, like, my personal barometer. He's got a lower ERA right now than Kershaw. He's got more wins than Kershaw. And if it's a Game 7 on the line against the White Sox, Cubs need to win this game, I'm putting Arrieta on the mound.
Okay, he has a lower ERA and lower wins by 1 win, and Kershaw does have a loss. But if you look at Kershaw's strikeout numbers, it's fucking ridiculous. Arrieta, 55 strikeouts. You look at Kershaw, 88 strikeouts. 88 strikeouts.
Don't care how many times you strike out the guy. Did they score? No. Good.
Even a lower
Did
whip.
we win?
I mean, okay, you can't say, Arrieta's giving you one more win. You can't say that, can you win?
Okay.
Kershaw can win you games.
All
you can't say that.
I'm saying is people, lower ERA, people aren't scoring as much on Arrieta.
But it's similar ERAs.
It's similar, but 1.29 is pretty fucking good, man.
And 1.67 is pretty good when you're striking out 88 guys. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm also not saying
apples to oranges, baby.
I think Kershaw if you look at his recent games, he has had 6 straight games of 10 or more strikeouts. I mean, what this guy's doing is ridiculous. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a close battle. I'm not really sure who I'm going to take, but I think I would lean towards Arrieta just because of his his second half of last season and now how he's really carried it through.
And before we move on, I got to give one WTF moment for the season thus far from the first half. My what the fuck moment so far has to be the game where Todd Frazier leaps out into the stands, hits his face, covers his face with the mitt, and what does Hawk Harrelson do? Stoney, take over. I got to see if he's okay. And goes down
So
there.
nothing actually that happened.
No,
just something that
an event
nothing
that
important that happened.
No, an event that happened. Where Hawk Harrelson, a broadcaster, said, "Hey, take over. I have to go see if the player's okay." When it's like, why is a broadcaster checking on the player in the middle of a game?
I would probably say the biggest what the fuck moment would probably just be
Odor.
Odor just not clocking Bautista.
Did you see the funny thing on that someone did on Wikipedia after that?
No.
On Batista's page, they put died May 15th, 2016, Arlington, Texas. And then for Odor's, where it says bats and throws, under throws it goes a wicked right hook.
Nice. I mean, I don't know about that Hawk thing. I love Hawk. You can go fuck yourself if you don't like Hawk.